Do good things always come in threes? Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I am taking the 3 bookish things tag. I first saw this on Hundreds of Thousands of Books blog and I thought it was such an interesting type of tag in that you have to come up with not just one book answer, but 3 for each of the questions. So let's get started. The first question is to name 3 characters you love. Her name comes up here constantly, but Angela Clark from the I Heart series by Lindsay Kelk. I feel a kind of an affinity for Angela in that I feel like we have quite similar stories. We have both left our home countries, moved to a new city, fallen in love, moved around, gone traveling, made new friends. Angela and I feel like kind of the same person, and I'm putting it out there that if there is ever a TV adaptation of I Heart, call me up. I would love to play Angela. I feel like I would be really good at the role because I've had the experience that Angela's had. She doesn't always make the best choices. Again, me. And there are some kind of her personality traits that I don't always love, but I always love catching up with Angela and seeing what she is up to. Another book character that I love mainly because I feel so connected and close to them is Aisling from the Oh My God, What a Complete Aisling series by Sarah Breen and Emer McLysaght. I, like Aisling, grew up in a very small town with about 250 people there. Everybody knows everybody knows everybody's business. I also moved away to Dublin, set up a new life for myself there, found new friends, and every time that I read any of the Aisling books, it just brings me straight back home. It transports me back to where I was living, back to my parents' house, back to that small town that I grew up in, knowing everybody is there, playing GAA, going to the shop for messages. Aisling is a character who I see myself in a lot, and I don't just mean because a lot of the times that I have read some of the books, the things that have happened have mirrored in my life. There's one where both Aisling and I lost our jobs at the same time. There's one where Aisling and I were going through a breakup at the same time and then moving to another country in another city. I have a deep love and connection for Aisling. We have to give snaps to the book and to the character who started it all. Roald Dahl's Matilda. Matilda is also a character who I have a quite close connection to in that we are both bookworms. We were both very bright and intelligent children. I was sent off to a kind of talented youth camp when I was maybe 7 or 8 and did one of their kind of IQ tests. I have still no idea how I got on, but I got a step CD out of it, so who's really winning here? I absolutely adore Matilda. I don't have any of the psychic powers that she does, but I do have the same love for books, learning, discovering new things, making new friends. Matilda is somebody who's going to hold my heart for a very long time. Question number 2, what are some bookish goals that you have for this year? And I have got a video about them already done, but to kind of sum it up quickly, I would like to read 100 books this year. For every book that I read, I would like to save €1. I would like to read a full book, cover to cover, completely in German. I don't know how any of these goals are going to go. It might end up not particularly working out very well, but I have got my eye on them. Question number 3 is, what are your 3 current favourite covers? And I only have one of these as a physical book. The other 2 I have on my Kindle. I am absolutely in love with the cover of Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. It has got such a stunning design with all of the leaves around the capital letter H. I would say that it's quite simple. There's not really a whole lot going on there, but it still just really stands out for me. There's also quite a similar design to The Mercies by Kieran Millward Hargrave. Again, you've got the kind of nature vibes. You've got leaves and you've got vines and all of that going around. So I think that is just something that I really enjoy about covers. I really love a cover that got leaves on it, trees, plants, flowers. Even though I'm not a very good plant parent, I really enjoy books that got plants on the cover. You can kind of see that again with the book that I have got in physical copy. So this is Dear Reader by Kathy Rensenbrink. And as you can see, there are, again, flowers, leaves, vines on the cover. As you can tell, this is a kind of cover that absolutely does just scream out to me. Question number 4. What are the 3 weirdest things that you have used as a bookmark? So I think, like everybody, I have used receipts. I have used train tickets. I have used concert tickets. I have used tickets to go to like a football match or hurling match. But then we go into the slightly stranger ones. I've once used a CD of an MRI on my foot. I don't remember why I had to use that one. I think it was just that I had taken the CD out of my handbag and it was just beside me as I was reading. I've also, as I was going downstairs at my parents' house to make a cup of tea, just leaned the book over my cat at the time. She was not a very chill person, so I don't think that she particularly enjoyed it. If I have got a picture of that, I'll try and put it on my screen. I know I have got a picture of me putting my glasses on her forehead, but I don't remember if I've got one of her with a book on her back. Alfie, I am so sorry that I put you through that. Question number 5 is read once and loved authors. So first of all, snaps have to go to Maeve Binchy. I read Circle of Friends in March of 2021 as part of the Irish Readathon and just instantly fell in love with it. It was one of the best books that I read across all of last year. I absolutely loved the social commentary on Ireland, how class division works out in Ireland, kind of education and everybody's access to education, how that's not always the same. Unfortunately, Maeve passed away in 2012, so there isn't going to be any new books of hers coming out. However, I have got her entire back catalogue that I can go and discover. Another author that I fell in love with after one book is a true booktube darling, Taylor Jenkins Reid. I went on a solo holiday to Austria, Slovakia and Hungary in about February, March of 2019. I started The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo on the plane to Vienna, got off the plane, dropped my stuff out my Airbnb, and then instantly went to find a cafe in the city centre just so that I could finish the book. I absolutely could not put it down. I have read another of her books since I've read Daisy Jones and the Six. I've actually read that one twice. The second time I read it as an audiobook, and I would genuinely say that one worked the best as an audiobook. I got a copy of Malibu Rising on my bookshelf that I am excited to get to, but I also have some of Taylor Jenkins Reid's older books on my Kindle. I have got One True Love and Maybe in Another Life that I genuinely am excited to get to reading. And another author that I only read one book from but knew it was going to be a fast friendship was Helly Acton. I read The Shelf first as an audiobook and then loved it so much that I had to get a physical copy. The concept of it is so intriguing and so entertaining. It's kind of like a mixture of Big Brother and Love Island. I absolutely adored reading everybody in this book, especially Amy, especially Felicity. And this is one book that I am going to push on so many people. I have got a copy of The Couple, which is Helly Acton's second book. I've got that on my Kindle and I am going to really try and get to it this year. The next question is 3 adaptations that you have watched but you haven't read the book. I absolutely adore The Shawshank Redemption, which is an adaptation of The Shawshank Redemption or The Story of Rita Hayworth by Stephen King. I've read one Stephen King book in my entire life. I read 11/22/63 last year, possibly the year before. The reason I've stayed away from Stephen King is that horror isn't a favourite genre of mine. I have a kind of a weak stomach. I don't like horror movies. I don't like horror books. So I haven't really tried to pick up any of his. But now that I know he's a great writer outside of horror fiction, and I have a feeling that The Shawshank Redemption is a novella and it's not very horror driven, it might be time to pick it up. I also, just a couple of years ago, watched The Silence of the Lambs, which is an adaptation of the book by Thomas Harris. I don't know if it's a favourite film of mine, but I really enjoyed it. There are quite a lot of horror elements to it, of course, so I did watch some of it from behind a cushion or with my fingers above my eyes, but I did really enjoy the film. I don't think I'm going to go and read the book though. Finally, I have watched Les Mis. I am never going to read that book. It's about 1,000, maybe 1,400 pages long. I know that Charlotte from Coinia Reads read it across last year. She's got a load of videos up about it if you ever want to read the book or if you want to know what the book is about. It's not my kind of thing. Question number 7. Question number 7, 3 series that you have binged. Here she is again. I read all of the iHeart books in the space of maybe about 2.5 weeks in May 2019, and it was just love at first sight. Angela became a very fast favorite character of mine. Lindsay Kelk kind of grew in how much I loved her as an author. I am so in love with these books. I have also sped through the Aisling books by Sarah Breen and Emer McLysaght. There is a new book out already. It came out in October of 2021 and I haven't picked it up yet for the sole reason that I would love to read it for the Irish Readathon in March of this year. But I might go back and pick up all the other three again beforehand. Also, the To All the Boys I've Loved Before books by Jenny Han. I listened to the audiobook of the second two, but I read the first one as a physical book and just completely fell in love with Lara Jean. She is definitely somebody that I would love to be friends with. I think I'd love to have a cozy evening in with her of baking, having tea or hot chocolate, making croissants, making cookies, making cakes, and then sitting down and watching a rom-com together. Question 8 is 3 favourite authors. I always feel like I'm going to miss somebody out or that somebody should have jumped over this person when I'm talking about my favourite authors. But as of now, right now, my 3 favourite authors are Lindsay Kelk, Marian Keyes, and Isabel Broom. I love Lindsay because she writes such relatable fiction. All of her characters, I have found something of myself in them. Quite a lot of the time in her books, the hero of the book is in a relationship with somebody that she really shouldn't be with. And her ability to write those kind of guys is just so on point. I love Isabel's books because they bring you almost everywhere in the world. She has written books that are set in Prague, in Italy, Spain, in New Zealand, in Thailand / Indonesia. I love the ability to just sit down on my chair but still be transported right across the world. Marian is one of my favourite authors because she also, like Maeve Binchy, writes amazing social commentary on Ireland. She's not afraid to tackle some really hard-hitting topics. For example, Rachel's Holiday, one of my favourite books of all time and one of my favourite books of hers, deals with a character who has got a drug addiction, but it isn't a maudlin book. It's actually filled with a lot of love, a lot of heart, a lot of humour, and that is something that she writes so well. Final question, what are 3 of your unpopular bookish opinions? Strap in. I've got a video of this again, but I am going to just do 3 and kind of speed run through them. First unpopular opinion, I think that NetGalley should only be used by book professionals. So booktubers, bookstagrammers, book bloggers, librarians, booksellers. I don't think it should just be used by Sue in Coventry who just wants a free book. That's not really what NetGalley is there for. Second unpopular opinion, I think the classics should not be on the school curriculum. Or, okay, they can be, but they shouldn't be as heavily commented on or studied as some of the more contemporary books that students might develop a more intimate relationship with, that students might connect with a little bit more because the characters are in their contemporary world and they can see themselves in the shoes of the character they're reading. Third unpopular opinion, and one that is definitely going to lose me a lot of friends, I did not like Six of Crows and I think it's genuinely overhyped and overrated. Those are my answers to the 3 bookish things tag. I would love to see your take on this, so if you have done it, please let me know below. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.